So God is sealing people with his law, right? Because within his law, within the law, his seal is in it, right? So a lot of, it's interesting that a lot of people is throwing away God's law today, not knowing God's seal is in it, right? So the seal that's going to protect you and, keep you safe and all these type of things, and our, eternal destiny, hangs upon receiving God's seal, right? And within, God's seal, right, is the law, and within the law is God's seal. You get what I'm saying? So people don't know what they're doing and don't know what they've been taught, right? And that's intentional. Satan is doing that, right? Because those who are keeping and following God's law are those that are demonstrating that they are people of the covenant, right? That they are in a relationship with God according to his terms, not their own. You get what I'm saying? God's seal or mark isn't something that we can see or do ourselves, right? Something in God's law makes up his sign or seal, right? As you can see, something in God's law make up his sign or seal. You get what I'm saying? It's pointing to a specific, particular commandment, right? Where specifically do we find the seal of God in his law, right? It's pointing to a specific commandment, y'all. So hopefully y'all can see that. I'm giving it away to y'all, right? But check out Ezekiel 20. Ezekiel 20. Give me out a game, man. 20, verse 12. That day that people hate the most, check out what his words say, man. Moreover, I say unto them, moreover, also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they may know that I am the Lord that sanctify them. So remember, we're learning what God's sign, seal, and mark is, right? And remember, God's seal, sign, or mark is within his law. You get what I'm saying? And people are trying to teach that God's law is abolished, not knowing that God's seal is within it, right? And the means that his people are going to be marked is within, his law. You get what I'm saying? Through the, being in covenant with him. So why would you reject keeping God's law, right? If it's, the means that, his seal or his mark or his sign exists within, right? So notice God didn't just say seal the law amongst his disciples, right? God knew that they were his actual seal, right? God knew that his actual seal is within his law, you guys. That's why he said bind, right? Bind the testimony and seal the law among my disciples. God know what he do. God knows what he's doing. People don't. That's why they come with the foolishness that they come with. You get what I'm saying? Check that out. I like this illustration because it's going to connect, right? So then we're going to go to Exodus 31, because all of this connects to what you see. God's seal, right? We almost done, man. Exodus 31. Exodus 31. Check that out. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to observe them throughout their generations as a perpetual covenant. Right? Verse 17. It is a sign, right? It is a sign, mark, or a sign, mark. What was the third one? A seal, right? Those are all interchangeable: sign, seal, or mark, right? It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed, right? So what is God's sign according to, the scriptures we just read, right? The seal of God is revealed in his holy commandment. Go figure, right? And look what commandment you guys see highlighted. In the 6 days, the Lord made heaven and earth, right? So what the commandment that has to do with is the Sabbath commandment, the fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath day to keep holy, right? And then he tells, he goes through this list, and then he says, in 6 days, the Lord made heaven and earth, right? Ezekiel 20, verse 8 to 11, right? So God's son is within his 10 commandment law, and within his 10 commandment law, it points to his seal is the, fourth commandment. You get what I'm saying? So the world, to the world, man, it's just about a day, man. But to the true followers of God, right? True Sabbath keeping signifies that a person has surrendered his life to Jesus and willing to follow him, right? Because the Sabbath, right? The Sabbath makes you do that, right? It makes you surrender your life to him, right? You can't just, not kill, not steal, and not do all that, right? This Sabbath, it affects your money, right? Getting your job, right? It affects your family, right? And it affects what you do on this day as well, right? Because this is a day of rest, right? So a lot of things that people in the world are doing, right? If they came in agreement with the Sabbath, it would change their life, their lifestyle, right? They would alter their work schedule. They would alter, their life schedule, period, right? Which would affect their, their family, their money, all those type of things, right? And right now we're living in a time where, the world is saying, keep Sunday holy. What a coincidence, y'all. We're living in a time where the world is saying, keep Sunday, right? Instead of keeping God's Sabbath, right? Ain't that interesting? And these end times that we're living in, right? Which, has to do with, the mark of the beast and the seal of God. The world, remember, the world is one of the devil's tool, right? It's teaching and pushing people to reject, the God's law, which contains God's seal, which is the means that, will determine our eternal destiny, right? Because if you receive the mark of the beast, I don't care how close you think your walk is with God, right? You're condemned. There is no heaven, right? Heaven isn't your destiny. You get what I'm saying? So it's no coincidence that, the world is saying keep Sunday as the Sabbath.